Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Matt, Jason, and guess what? Guess who's here with us this week? It is Shane. He is back with us, got all moved in. He is ready to rock and roll on this fine evening. How are you two gentlemen doing tonight?
I am doing great. You know, that music just got me so unbelievably hyped. It's great to be back. It is fantastic to be celebrating what is the pinnacle of sports this weekend. And you know, my home team's in it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it must get old seeing your team just in the Super Bowl just so many times. But yeah, hey, this is a great week. It's Super Bowl week. We need to start a petition to have Mondays after the Super Bowl a holiday.
Yeah, change President's Day literally like the weekend following the Super Bowl. Just saying.
1,000%. 1,000%. That's a fantastic idea. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I'm taking Monday off anyways, but yeah, that's an awesome idea, Jason. We need to, maybe you ought to write to President Trump and let him know.
You can send another executive order.
Yeah. I mean, he's just throwing them out left and right. Shane, what do you want to say, Shane?
Nothing. I got nothing.
Well, it is good to have Shane back with us on the podcast, back as a family with us three gentlemen. Real quick before we get into the episode, I want to ask Shane. Shane, I have moved multiple times. Now I am finally in my dream home. I want to know how the process was for you. Was it a giant pain in the booty, or was it pretty smooth sailing?
Honestly, the moving part, pretty smooth sailing. But we got into a home that hadn't been renovated or updated. So we've been updating it. It was built in the 80s, and basically everything's still the 80s. So we've been updating it. So we closed the week prior to us moving in. So we tried to do as much updating as we could during that time period, but we're still doing a lot of work on the house and scraping popcorn ceiling and getting my hands dirty. It's a lot of fun, but pretty exhausting.
Is this, I think I know the answer to this. Is this your guys' first home, right?
Yeah. We've been renting here in Lenexa for the last 3 years and finally found a house that we liked that surprisingly Lenexa didn't price us out of. And
that's always good. Well, congrats. That's a big congrats. First home as a family. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jason, you ought to say congrats as well, bud.
Okay? Oh, I already have. I mean, he's already walked me through it all, so he knows. Okay. He knows. We're good.
Well, as Shane and Jason alluded to, tonight is our betting episode of the Super Bowl, guys. It is the last NFL game of the year. It is an exciting game. Should be some high-flying. Well, we hope there's some high-flying things going on in this game. So yeah, it's exciting. It's been a long season for us. This is actually, before we partnered with F6P, this has probably been our longest podcasting season as far as research and just writing everything down that we've had as a group, as a trio here. So it's been, even though we've only been putting out 2 episodes a week, it's been pretty exhausting in my opinion. But as things go, we're gaining on it. We're learning how to prioritize things in our time. So it's been a fun season. I want to say congrats to the both of you. I think we had a phenomenal college and NFL season, all 3 of us. Hopefully everyone out there has subscribed and become members, all access members, so they could get all of our bets. So congratulations to you two. It's just been a fun and wild ride. Anything you guys want to say before we jump in?
Do I get a crown for this year? Just wondering.
You should. You should.
Well, yeah, we'll work on that. I'll see if I
Jason
can
crown
3D print one.
because Jason won it.
Jason
last
was
year,
the
right?
crown. Yeah, Jason was the crown, but I
Okay.
snatched that shit. So thanks, Jason.
King of the castle. King of the castle. You have 1 year and you start running your mouth.
I think I need a crown for college.
You do. No one's taking the crown, though. No one's taking the crown for college.
True that.
No compete clause.
Okay, guys, let's jump into the episode now. So before we get into the bets and talking about Super Bowl, remember to head on over to fantasy6pack.net. Become an all-access member today. Use promo code Parlay FF to get 15% off, guys. Next year is going to be a blast for the three of us. We've got a lot of things coming in the works. We hope that you guys continue to subscribe. But head on over there. Become an all-access member today, guys. If you want to, go check out Fantasy Six Pack's YouTube channel. That is where we are, since they are our partner now. That's where we are on the video side of things, guys. So head on over there, give it a like, hit the notification bell, and follow along with us as we continue this wild journey. If you guys want to listen to the audio side of the podcast, we are still branded as the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. So head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, check us out, hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, leave some comments. We do want to see more interaction next year. As things start to grow, we know that the interaction will come, but if you guys want to leave comments and stuff, ask us questions, feel free to do that over there, or any of the social media platforms. You can find Shane at Shane Parlay FF on the old X machine. You can find Jason at Jason Parlay FF, and you can find myself at Matt_Parlay FF. So that being said, guys, last game of the year, Super Bowl week, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Who wants to jump into this? Jason, what's the outcome? Do you want to give out anything here? Do you want to give out past stats? Or are we just jumping right into the betting side?
No, we're jumping right in. We're getting after it. Shane, since you're wearing the crown this year, you get to go first on this.
Wait, are we not announcing our pick first? I thought that was going to be everybody just announce their pick now, or are we teasing that for later?
Yeah, let's just tease it real quick. We'll go through our props, then we'll give our picks at the end.
Okay, well, that's no fun for me, but that's fine. I'll go with my best bet right off the rip here. This one is backed with science. So, Saquon Barkley under 109.5 rushing yards. Fun fact, you could probably wait to play this until Sunday, and that number will probably inflate as the Joe Schmoes come in and bet that number up. No offense, Matt. But Barkley has crushed the season. He literally just won Offensive Player of the Year. There's no denying it. However, most of his inflated numbers came against bottom 10 defenses. Against the rest of the defenses he faced, which was 10 games, so it's a 10-game sample size, he averaged less than 92.5 rushing yards. The Chiefs are the number 9 rush defense in the NFL. I expect them to take care of business in what is the largest game, and they're going to send pressure. They're going to send exotic packages, and I think that they're going to, do everything they can to force Jalen Hurts to beat them in this game, which means shutting down quads.
Yeah.
Next pick. Speaking of that, Jalen Hurts, my guy, you're going to get pressured, which means you're going to run. And so, fun thing that I have is first rush. Jalen Hurts over 3.5 rushing yards on his first rush. It's available on DraftKings. He cleared this rate with the tush push at a rate of 45%. And when scrambling, cleared it at a 67% rate. So, again, science. And we're going to take 3.5. Because he gets 4 on every tush push and he gets 6 on every scramble. We're hoping he scrambles just to give us a little extra room. And I think he'll have to, and I think it'll come early in the game as the Chiefs attempt to pressure this Philadelphia Eagles offense out of or off the field. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, let's just keep the train rolling. Anytime touchdown, Jalen Hurts, minus 115. He scores at an astronomical rate. We've seen some regression of that as of late, but with the Chiefs keying on quads, I think that there will be instances where they get close enough to do the tush push, and Jalen will be the beneficiary. He scored in 87% of games that he's played at 115. That is absurd.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's nuts.
Yeah, at minus 115, that's printing money. Give me minus 115 Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. a fun one. The Exacto. Philadelphia Eagles first half, Chiefs second half. This is playable on FanDuel at plus 700, Jason.
Wow.
Love that number.
Philly's going to try to come out and throw punches. The Chiefs tend to start slower. And in the second half, we all know what Patrick does. He turns it up, takes it over, and they win the game. It wouldn't shock me to see a situation like the 2020 Super Bowl where the Eagles have a pretty handy lead going into half or going into the third quarter, and the Chiefs just do what the Chiefs have always done, and outright win at the end. So Philly first half, Chiefs second half, plus 700. I like that number a lot. I have an Exacto writing on the Chiefs to win this over Philly right now anyway, so hoping I can double tap it, And last but not least, we were just talking about one possible game script, which is that Philly gets out to an early lead. The other possible game script is that Philly gets punched in the throat, which is very possible. And they have to try to recover, and Jalen Hurts has to throw the ball because they're shutting down the run. So Jalen Hurts second half passing over 104.5. A lot of Jalen Hurts props. I'm staying away from quads aside from the under. I like the pass catchers. I don't trust AJ Brown at this point enough to back him in any props. Although he does tend to excel, and the Chiefs tend to suck against wide receiver ones. And Dallas Goedert's number has gotten so inflated that I don't really want to touch it. So that's why I'm playing mostly Jalen isolated and no additional props. And then I'm not playing any Chiefs props because I'm already going to have so much money riding on them as a team that playing their props feels like double dipping.
Love it. Hey, you mentioned Hurts. Anytime TD was your lock, correct?
No, my lock is quads under 109.5. Rushing yards specifically.
Gotcha.
Rushing yards specifically, not rushing and receiving.
Got you. Just making sure. Cool. Matt, let's go.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to list them off here, boys. So I'm going to stay pretty generic as my lock. Again, these are obviously the two best teams in football. I know they both have good defenses, but I do think that they're going to put up enough points here to get me over the over. So I'm going to lock in the over at 48.5 over on DraftKings. You can get that at minus 112. I do think there's going to be points scored here. I know they have good defenses, but number one, I just don't want to see a low-scoring Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the over. It opened up at 51.5, and it's dropped down to 48.5. So it's something to think about and look at, but I still like the over. So give me 48.5. That's my lock. Next one, guys, I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown score at plus 400. DeAndre Hopkins is the kind of receiver that even if he hasn't put up flashy numbers since being with the Chiefs every single week, this dude is old reliable. Okay, his hands are gigantic. They're going to need some red zone targets. DeAndre Hopkins is a perfect red zone target. So he's just been that consistent, reliable wide receiver. And I think he does make a splash in the Super Bowl. So give me DHop at anytime touchdown score at plus 400. I'm also going to pair that up with Travis Kelce. I mean, come on, right? It's Travis Kelce. It's a Super Bowl. We all know what he does in Super Bowls. I think he can score a touchdown in this game as well. So I'm going to take the anytime touchdown score for TK at plus 135. Plus, he's going to propose to Taylor Swift. That's the rumor mill at halftime. So he's going to need to score a tutty, son. He's got to look flashy on the field. He's going to do a little tay-tay dance. So give me the anytime touchdown score for old TK. Next one, I'm going to go with Isaiah Pacheco plus 25 rushing yards at plus 109. I know he hasn't, I shouldn't say he, Kareem Hunt's been getting play. He's getting a lot more run. But the way Isaiah Pacheco runs the ball, I think he can get to 25 plus yards. And at plus money, that seems like one of a pick that's kind of a no-brainer, in my opinion. So I'm going to take Isaiah Pacheco at plus 25 rushing yards at plus 109. Then I'm going to kind of pair that up with what Shane said earlier. Jalen Hurts is going to be pressured. They could be keying in on Saquon. Jalen Hurts is going to rush the ball. So I'm going to take plus 40 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts at minus 108. Now, what I'm going to do as well, which I didn't tell Shane and Jason before the podcast, I am also going to parlay those two picks together to make plus 355. So you can play them by themselves and have decent odds there. But you can also pair those two picks together of Hurts and Pacheco rushing yards and have plus 355. I'm also going to do that as well and dibble dabble a little money in that. I've got two more for you guys here. Shane already talked about it. Saquon Barkley, he has it at under 109. Now, that was the total that they gave. That's just a generic total that they have set, right, Shane?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't take the generic total. I just actually scrolled over till I saw plus money, and it was at 120. I'm going to dibble dabble on that as well. I'm going to have him rushing for 120 plus rushing yards. Again, I do agree with Shane. The Chiefs are going to key in on Saquon. He is that offense. But then in the back of my mind, I just think to myself, this dude has fought for so many years to be who he is. He's playing in the Super Bowl. I think you're going to see the best version of Saquon Barkley in this specific game. I think there's a chance he could get to that number and Saquon will be their only offense. Or, like Shane said, they are going to key in on Saquon and he is not going to play good at all. But I'm just going to roll the dice. I'm going to throw a couple bucks at it. The number is 120 plus rushing yards at plus 114. I'll throw a little bit at it. It's a little bit of plus money, so I'm going to take that. And then the last pick I have is Noah Gray to receive one pass in the first quarter. So to have one reception in the first quarter for Noah Gray, you can get that number at plus 255. And the reason why I'm going to do that is Noah Gray he's been an awesome tight end on the year for the Chiefs, but no one really talks about him that much. He's a short yardage tight end. I just don't see him not having a reception in the first quarter, at least one. Even if it's for a yard, 2 yards, boom, it's a plus 225, you win, right? So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on that as well. And those are the
225 is crazy, but it's because he literally was the cardio guy last week.
Yeah.
He had 7 routes throughout the entire, between 2 and 7, somewhere between 2 and 7. I don't remember the exact number, but he had like 2 to 7 routes and was never even looked at.
Just give him one pass so he can catch it one time because he's going to catch the ball.
Yeah, he has an 88% receiving rate, by the way. Like his catch rate is 88%, which is pretty insane for a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
That would get kind of boring, just running routes and just not getting the ball down too.
Blocking.
Dude, what am I doing out here?
He was the additional blocker is what he was. The Bills had the additional offensive lineman. We said, hey, we have 2 tight ends.
Yeah. But those are my picks, boys.
Love them. All right, guys. I'm going to lead with my lock. My lock for this game is a prop. It's the team that scores last wins the game.
Ooh.
The past 15 Super Bowls, this is 15-0.
What's the number at?
Minus 155.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like it. I like the history. I like the trends in Super Bowls. I'm going to ride with this. I think this does hit. And, of course, if it's the 1 year that I do bet it and it doesn't, then I'm going to be kind of upset. But 15-0, I like that stat. I'm going to ride with it. Next one. First play of the game is going to be a run at plus 120. 5 out of the past 6 Super Bowls, this hit. Both teams are kind of run dominant, kind of ball possession teams this year. The only team that worries me is KC, but I think KC wins the toss. They've won it in every Super Bowl they've been in for the past 5 years. So, and they defer. So if the Eagles get the ball, I'm almost positive Saquon is going to get the first touch of the game on the ground. Next one, my next two are kind of tied together. I'm going to go with there is going to be a missed PAT extra point in this game at plus 230. I'm fading these two kickers who are reliable. Butker this year is 29 for 31 in his extra points. Elliott is 47 of 48. He did miss 3 weeks ago, but I still like it. I don't care. I'm going to ride with it. Give me a missed PAT in this game, and it ties into my next pick. There's going to be a 2-point conversion attempt in this game.
Ooh, will it be successful?
I'm not doing that one. I'm not doing the successful
No octopus?
one.
No
I'm
octopus?
I'm just doing an attempt. It's at plus 155. I like it. I liked it, an attempt. There was a 2-point conversion attempt when these two teams played last 2 years ago. I'm going to ride with it. I think something happens, especially if there is a penalty on an extra point, especially with the Eagles kicking. They're going to do the tush push at the goal line. So I like that number.
That would be an octopus though. Jalen Hurts gets the touchdown and then he gets the 2-point conversion. Just saying.
I didn't even know what that kind of bet is.
Yeah, octopus is when the same player who scores the 2-point conversion. So if Jalen Hurts gets a tush push and then the Chiefs jump off sides and then they decide to go for 2, Jalen Hurts gets the 2-point conversion. It's an octopus.
Look up that number if you can find it.
I as soon as you started talking about it, I was like, ooh, octopus, that'd be fun. Plus 1,400.
Sprinkle it.
Sprinkle it, he says. He says, give it a little.
Like it. Give me it.
$3 to win 45. Just saying.
Ooh, okay. I like that. 1,400. Last one, I'm going to ride with Shane. I like Hurts anytime TD in this game. I think his knee is going to be better after a week off, and he'll probably get in the end zone. Barkley might get sniped a lot in this game if they do get to the goal line. And those are my prop picks for this game. All right, guys. Winner or MVP first?
Winner.
Or if you're picking the spread. Are we picking spread or winner? Both?
I'm just going to take the winner. I'm just going to take money line Chiefs.
Money line Chiefs?
Yep.
That's a shocker.
Yeah, I know. Weird. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that one?
And who's your MVP?
I was not ready for both. I was trying to find the odds because DraftKings doesn't have them.
All right, then we'll circle back to your MVP pick. Matt, who you got? Who are you taking in this game?
I'm going to take, drum roll, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I'm actually not shocked about that because you had DHop and TK touchdowns, and I was like, that seems Chiefs bullish. Just saying.
Let me get the Chiefs. I'm going to take Chiefs money line at minus 120. I think they get it done. I think they get the three-peat. I've seen a lot of struggle from the Eagles this year, and I know they've been playing really well on defense of late. But you don't bet against Mahomes in the Super Bowl. So until I am proved wrong, I'm going to take the Chiefs. And my MVP, Jason, is I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. It's always a quarterback. It's minus 250. So
I really for the memes, I really want to do Harrison Butker at plus 20,000 because if he hits a big kick and then hits a game-winning kick, I could see people just flooding the vote, even though everybody hates him.
Could happen.
So yeah, that's pretty wild.
I wonder if that's ever happened.
If a kicker's ever won, I almost guarantee no. Defensive players have won before, but I can't believe that a kicker would have won.
Yeah.
Unless the Chiefs win 18-10 on nothing but field goals from Harrison Butker, he's probably not winning MVP.
Right.
Yeah.
Shane, do you have your MVP?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little spicy because I think that the odds are just too damn high. Give me Mr. Xavier Worthy at plus 2,500.
Okay.
He can run and he can catch. So if he gets an end around touchdown and breaks a huge one, something sort of misdirection, because Philly's really good at stopping the run. I think it's possible. And then, if he catches like 6 passes for 100 and something yards because he breaks another one for a touchdown, it's very possible too. I will say Philly is exceptional about not allowing big plays to break. So I don't have a ton of faith in it, but if there's anybody that I'll take in this situation, it's the track star.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. So for my pick, it's hard to go against the Chiefs in this situation, but I feel like they have the pressure is on them. I feel like there's not pressure on the Eagles coming into this game. It kind of reminds me of the Giants playing the undefeated Patriots and having all the pressure on the Patriots to win, and this team coming in that's hot, being the Eagles and whatnot. The Eagles have the better team if we're looking at it on paper. The only positions that the Chiefs really beat them out at is quarterback and coach, which I feel like basically levels the playing field. And I would rather have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and put my trust in them rather than Sirianni and Hurts. The stat that has me scared for the Chiefs in this game, it's kind of wild. Teams that have had a bye entering the playoffs facing a team who did play in the wild card game or didn't have a bye are 4-12 straight up and 2-13-1 against the spread. I don't think this is a happy ending. Give me the Eagles at +1.5.
Okay.
Wait, but why would you not take the money line then? Because it's plus money.
Because I want to give you some hope. Because I do want to root for them. And if Eagles lose by 1, we're both gonna win.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Against the spread number, I like that a little bit more. The 2-13-1. So it gives you a little bit of hope. Hey, my MVP in this game is Jalen Hurts. I think he throws the ball well. He's gonna have to beat the Chiefs.
Okay.
At +350.
Man, that's wild. It's wild that, in a few days here, a couple days, football season will be over for a while. It's wild to think of.
It's kind of sad.
It is. It's not kind of. It is sad. Like, it's really sad.
Yeah,
but,
it's like that Monday is basically a hangover from, well, in both ways. You're going to be hungover from partying that night, and there's no more football till August.
Yeah, it's wild. It is absolutely wild. Chiefs going for a three-peat. Philly rematch with the Chiefs 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago? Yeah, mm-hmm. 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Should be an electric game. It really should be. The do you Jason or Shane, do you guys, before we wrap the episode up, is there any like wild bets that you want to throw out? Did we talk about that? Did we want to throw any of those out?
I wanted to do something with the Gatorade color, but I'm not ballsy enough for that.
I
like the Chiefs to win the coin toss.
I can't find any crazy ones.
Yeah, I can't either. Like I tried looking.
It's only off books. Like you can't. It's like none of your standard books have them. It's all off book stuff. So like offshore, that have the crazy what color is the Gatorade type stuff.
Yeah.
Unless somebody finds it on FanDuel or something, that would be a place that I would think would maybe carry it.
The Chiefs have won the past three Super Bowls the Chiefs have been in. They've won the coin toss and deferred. I like that. Yeah,
the Chiefs always defer and the Eagles always defer. So whoever wins the coin toss is going to not get the ball.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great step. I'm trying to find exotics. I can't find a single exotic. It's so sad.
Yeah, I looked. I couldn't find them either.
If we do, let's just post it on our Twitter.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, guys. Well, that officially is going to wrap up our Super Bowl week as far as the betting side goes. We like I said earlier in the episode, we do have some things in the works, guys. We are going to continue recording after the Super Bowl. Now, what is that going to consist of, guys? What it's going to consist of is we're still in the works of talking about that, but we do know that we want to put out episodes of a specific betting episode. And I think how we're going to make that work is it can be cross sports. You know, Shane might throw some bets on the NBA, Jason might throw some bets on the MLB, and I might throw some bets on golf. That could all be wrapped into one episode, depending on the sports that we are going into that specific week. So we do want to continue putting out bets. It just might be cross sports related, random sports.
The Parlay Sports Show.
Yeah, something like that. And maybe we can name it that per episode or something. I don't know. We're still working on some details, but what I do know is that at least myself, I think we're going to take a week, maybe 2 weeks off, kind of retrain our brains on different sports, reset our brains on lines, and dive into some research before we just kind of go off the wall and give you guys bets. Because our ultimate goal is we want to throw out bets that are going to win. We want to win you guys some money. We want to win some money ourselves. So that's the way it's going to go. We might take a week, 2 weeks off, and then we'll be back on. And I think, Shane, we're going to start recording Monday night now during the off season. Was it Monday nights that
don't recall? I'm going to be honest, I don't recall. I do have an answer about why we can't find exotics, Matt.
Okay, what is it?
Shout out to the states. There are a couple of states that allow the coin toss, a couple of states that allow the Gatorade color, and no states that allow the national anthem. So it's completely determinant on your state on if you can bet some of the novelty props. So sad. Kansas does not allow us to have fun. But, you know, congrats to those of you that can bet what color the Gatorade is.
Yeah. Jason's sitting there like, yeah, that's me, son. No, I'm just kidding.
Offshore, baby.
Offshore. But guys, I think that's going to be the plan moving forward. And then I do know after a couple weeks of taking a break, because this is Shane's time where he really dives into the upcoming draft, we will jump into Dynasty and leading up to the draft, and start back the Dynasty talks as well, because we do want to post 2 episodes per week still. But that's how the betting one's going to go. And then once we do come back in a week or 2 after taking break and so on and so forth, it'll be both betting and Dynasty. So that's the plan moving forward. We probably will have some more news as it comes closer, and we will announce that on our next show. So that being said, happy Super Bowl week. Shane and Jason, y'all know what to do.
It's been real, y'all. We will see you when we flip the calendar for the NFL. Bye.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend, guys. Bet responsibly and have a good time this weekend.
Yep. And until next episode, guys, we love you to the moon and back. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Peace out.